Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from DeltaCX.com, and we're a full service CX and UX agency. And it is time once again for our next adventure with our micro lesson arc on observational research. This is session 3 with another wonderful volunteer who's going to cook for you today. Before we welcome them in, I just want to remind people of some of the ground rules that exist during these semi-fake observational sessions. First of all, I am not going to be looking at the chat room. So if you are posting things, just post them to each other. Assume I'm not seeing it until at the end when we'll do the debrief. Also, please note that this is my style of doing research. This is based on the questions we all wrote together, though I've been adopting and changing some of them a little bit. We'll see how it goes today. And what else? We did the questions a few days ago. People can watch that in the Micro Lessons playlist. All of these will be in the Micro Lessons playlist, so you can catch up with them later and use it to practice your note-taking. And then don't forget, in about a week and a half, we will be done with our observational research, and then we can start doing affinity diagram and some other things. So I hope you'll join in for that. I see we've got 4 people joining us live already, so everybody wake on up. And what else can I tell you? Please, by the way, please subscribe here on YouTube, ring the bell, and so that you can know when I'm live or posting a pre-recorded video. You can also join our Slack workspace completely free at deltacx.link/join Slack. There is a tip jar, deltacx.link/tip, as well as super chats, super stickers, and now paid memberships on YouTube. For as little as $3 a month, you can be part of the club. YouTube keeps 30% of that, but you are supporting me and my habit of delicious cheese, and I thank you for that. What else can I tell you? The other thing I wanted to remind everybody, if you haven't joined us before for these sessions, is that I do something that most people are told to never do during research interviews, observational studies, things like that. I do it. You shouldn't. So you're going to watch me do it. Don't do it. And that is, I take notes while the person is talking and while the person is doing things. This is not recommended because you really need your full attention to be on what the person is doing and not on your typing or thinking about what you're typing. But I've got kind of that rare combination of typing insanely fast with kind of like that UN translator brain where I can kind of run a couple of tracks at the same time. And like I could be typing live captions kind of thing. So again, I'm going to do that. Don't do that, or use these sessions to practice to realize you shouldn't do that. So watch these later, take your notes. That being said, let's bring in our special guest today, Julia. Thank you so much, friend of the show, Julia, for joining us. And we're going to be going through our discussion guide. So I am just going to start playing my part. And oh, by the way, before we start, very quickly, I wanted to jump into the live YouTube stream and double check something. So everybody give me one moment. This is going to be boring. I apologize. Press fast forward if it's in the future. I just want to check something out. Nope. Oh, it's not playing. Let's see. There we go. No, I'm not seeing it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's turn this off. And okay, didn't work. Experiment, not working. There we go. All right, back to you. Let's jump in, see, get up my notes and look at you. And here we go. Hi, I'm Debbie from Delta CX. We're a research agency helping kitchen thingies to better know home cooks. Thank you so much for being part of our study. Also, thanks for signing the consent form. I just want to double check that I have your permission to record our session and broadcast and archive it on YouTube.
Yes, you can record our session and broadcast it.
Thank you, thank you. Today will be pretty straightforward and shouldn't take more than an hour. I'll ask you some questions, we'll watch you cook a meal, and then I have some final questions. Please note that I'm hoping to hear you thinking out loud. Please tell me all of your thoughts and opinions, even if you think they're negative. We can't make things better without hearing where things are difficult or annoying. You can't give us too much information, and there are no wrong answers. Okay, so let me start by getting to know you a little bit. May I ask your age?
Yep, 26.
Okay, and who else is in your household living with you?
I live with my boyfriend and his 2 twin boys that are 9 years old.
Okay, got it. And do you tend to cook mostly for yourself or for others as well?
So actually, I do cook for everybody in the house. But we got HelloFresh recently to kind of help out with that. So I don't know if that's relevant information, but I will give it to you anyway.
Yeah, well, in our world, everything's relevant, so you can't tell me too much. Tell me all the things. So it's normally you cooking for the family of 4.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, got it. And do you or anybody in the household follow a special diet, have food sensitivities, or need to adjust food for medical conditions?
Yes.
I don't
know if you need more detail, but
if you're comfortable
yeah,
sharing,
it's fine. I can share.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So for myself, I have a chronic GI condition, so I have to make sure I don't make things that are too fatty or too fibrous, which is kind of funny because I'm making a salad with vegetables in it today. But either way, I have to watch my fiber intake.
Okay, fiber and fat.
Then my boyfriend doesn't like cheese. Yep, and boyfriend doesn't like cheese, so that complicates meals a lot.
Okay, boyfriend doesn't like cheese. And what about the boys?
I mean, they eat most things, but I'm always prepared to get a critical review on any new recipe. They will not hold back.
Got it. So probably a critical review for anything you cook.
Yeah.
Okay, and is anybody in your household currently part of a weight loss or weight gain program?
I'm trying to gain weight, but not in the program.
Okay, so just generally, but you're not following.
Yeah, I'm not following anything. I'm mindful of it in what I make, but it's not like an official thing.
Okay. Okay, got it. And how many times per day would you say you microwave a pre-prepared meal?
Per day? I would even say like per week, if that. Okay. Sometimes for lunches, I'll do a microwavable like black bean burger, but usually I like to cook things fresh, especially for dinners.
Okay. So would you say then that your microwaving is a few times a week?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay.
Like if we microwave, so this would be probably better. If I do microwave something, it's usually a side. So I'll make a main meal and then I'll have microwavable vegetables or like a microwavable rice, something like that.
Got it.
But not the entire meal.
Okay. Got it. Do the boys eat a lot of microwave snacks, meals, chicken nuggets?
Not quite. We try to give them like fresh sandwiches and soups and things.
Super. Okay, and so how many times per day or week would you say you're cooking mostly or completely from scratch?
I guess not. I guess HelloFresh does count because it's still from scratch. So we do, I say like 4 to 5 days a week. And then I offload to my boyfriend the other days, or we eat out.
Okay, so 4 to 5 days a week cooking from scratch. Other days falls on boyfriend. Or eating
or
out.
Restaurants.
Yeah, got it. Do you consider cooking a hobby?
Yeah, I kind of took it up more hobby style when we had the stay-at-home orders last year, just because I had more time to mess with recipes since I wasn't always gone. And I do enjoy it, so I try to slow down and make it an enjoyable thing.
Okay, great. And let's see, I've got a couple of questions over here. Who in your household does the shopping?
For dinners, usually me. For lunches and other stuff, usually my boyfriend. We kind of split.
So does that mean you're shopping daily, or do you do a big shopping for the week?
No, we used to shop almost daily or every other day, which was becoming a problem with food waste and things like that. So we moved down to now I shop 1 day a week on Saturdays, and then I have HelloFresh for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday meals. So that's cut down our shopping big time. And I'll just get everything in one big trip now since dinner's already set.
Okay, so HelloFresh is Monday to Wednesday meals, and then you can you can shop for the rest of the week on Saturdays.
Yep.
Okay, did I miss anything there?
And then weekends. No, weekends we usually wing it, so that could be going out to eat or cooking. That's kind of up in the air, but we're on a pretty normal schedule for Monday through Friday with like where we get our food and how we shop for it.
Okay, thanks. And I know you're getting HelloFresh, but have you done any grocery or supermarket delivery?
Yeah, oh, we use Shipt all the time from Meyer Grocery.
Okay, so Meyer Grocery is, I'm not familiar with that one. Are they doing like home delivery?
They do it through Shipt.
I don't
They were
know
one
that
of the
one.
first grocery stores. Oh, it's like Instacart, but not.
Is that SHIPT?
Hmm.
Okay, like Instacart. Thanks. Sorry, I probably don't live near you, so I'm just not familiar with all the different services that are available everywhere. Okay, so like Instacart, it's a home delivery service where you go online, you place your grocery or supermarket order, and it comes that day, the next day, based on a time window.
Within hours.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. How often would you say you do that?
So I was actually, when you asked me when I shop, that is how I shop. I don't really go to the grocery store anymore. Again,
Okay.
pandemic things. I used to like it, but pretty much strictly delivery. My boyfriend is the one that enjoys going to the store more as kind of a calming thing for him to get away for a little bit. So he's the one that does the physical shopping.
So like boys get to stay home with you and he gets a little breather out in the supermarket.
Yes, exactly. And
Okay.
I'm like too impatient for that, so I just order on my phone.
Got it. So you tend to be a little impatient with these things, so you'll order from the phone and then within hours your grocery order is there.
Yep.
Got it. Thanks for explaining that to me. Let's see. What else was I going to ask? So HelloFresh, how long would you say you've been doing that?
Maybe 2 months now.
Okay.
Not too long.
And have you tried any of the other ones, Blue Apron or any of the others?
Not yet. When we start to get tired of HelloFresh, I'm thinking about Blue Apron. I have it downloaded on my phone, ready to go when the time is right. But for now, we're happy with the recipes and everything. So.
Okay, got it. Let me move back to my question list. Excuse me a moment. Have you ever taken, or I guess the better question is, have you ever taken cooking classes? And if so, what kinds of classes?
No, but I would love to. I know there's a place that does them as kind of a like couples event. You can create like a fancy meal. So I really want to do that one day, but no, not yet.
Okay, got it. Do you tend to use, and do you have any favorite websites, cooking blogs, videos, or TV shows?
Oh my God, we watch so much cooking TV because it's the easiest thing to put on, so I can hardly answer that. But for websites, I usually just Google, and then the ones that I trust the most, like I'll Google a recipe that I want, so say like meatloaf. I don't know why I picked that. And then I'll look through all the different ratings, and then from there I'll pick one. And usually I trust most New York Times Cooking, which I was just telling you about, and what am I thinking? Oh, Food Network.
Okay.
The all recipes usually comes up first with good reviews, but I heard that those reviews can not really exactly be trustworthy, so I'm a little bit hesitant on the all recipes things.
So you heard that some reviews aren't trustworthy. So like when you Google something and it says like you can make this one or this one, there's 4.5 stars, 4.3 stars. Are people? What did you hear about that? How are the reviews not totally trustworthy?
I honestly don't remember. This was just a skim read, so that's why it's something I consider, but I'm not, treating it as Bible. But I did hear that the all recipes and those websites that kind of take them all in one area, the reviews can be not trustworthy what you see. So I don't know why. I wish I knew more. I should look it up, but.
Got it. Okay, so does that mean if you see something from all recipes, you might skip it because you're not sure the reviews are honest?
Yep. If I can see. So if All Recipes has a 4.5-star review, but then Food Network has a 4.3-star review, I'll usually go to Food Network first.
Got it. Okay, that's a trusted venture. Do you have any Internet of Things or smart home appliances or devices?
Yes, we have the Echoes. We have like 3 of them.
Oh, okay. 3 Amazon Echoes. And, I don't know how to spell Echoes. And how would you say do you use them related to cooking or meals or food at all?
That's like the only thing we use it for. She's just our timer. Alexa's my cooking timer.
Got it. Does she or it serve any other function related to food, cooking, or meals?
No.
Okay. So Alexa's the cooking timer. And give me a couple of examples of some of the easy, quick meals that you like to cook. You don't have to go into detail. It could be just names of dishes.
I just realized I forgot something. I do ask her a lot. I keep saying her, it sounds probably weird. But I do ask her a lot about how to store food. So fresh produce, I'll ask things like, how do you best store a poblano pepper? That was my most recent one.
Okay.
And then
how do you best store a poblano pepper?
In the fridge, in the
right.
crisper drawer. Yep, didn't know that. I had it on my counter, so I moved it to the fridge. But for quick recipes, oh gosh, the quickest ones are usually different kinds of pastas. I have like a lemon cream pasta sauce that I make a lot with like capers and salmon in it. We do meatball subs, burgers, grilled chicken, vegetable, and rice.
That was grilled chicken, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And what about some difficult meals that you attempted to cook that may or may not have worked out?
Oh gosh. So I'm terrible at baking, so I screw up anything baking wise. I know they're not meals, but I've totally butchered some cinnamon roll cookies that I was excited about. One time so we've been renting for a while in a college town, so we don't exactly have like the best quality appliances. And one time I was broiling a flank steak in the oven and it lit on fire. The steak was fine. All was good. Dinner was not ruined. But yeah, careful with those sugary sauces and broiling in a crappy stove.
So you had a sugary sauce for the steak under the broiler.
Yeah. I know now that was not a smart idea.
I'm not saying it wasn't smart. I'm just saying it sounds interesting. I don't usually hear about sugary sauces for steaks, so that seems interesting.
It had brown sugar. Like a brown sugar, soy, garlic.
Brown sugar, soy, garlic. Right. If you don't mind a little bit of caramelization.
Yeah.
You made it better.
Yeah.
What would you say tends to be your mood when cooking, and does cooking change your mood?
It can. So it depends. So I'm like the main one that cooks our dinners during the week. So cooking, if I have the time, if I get off work early and I have nothing to do and I'm not worried about going to bed early for something, cooking is relaxing. I put in my headphones, I'll listen to a podcast. But sometimes if I'm cooking and work went late and I know I need to go to bed early because I have something going on the next day, then it starts to become more of a chore and a stressful thing. And I just want to get it over with.
Got it. So it sounds like the mood might be more defined by the day than the cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Does cooking have the power to change that mood? Can it make a bad day shiny?
I wouldn't go that far, but it is nice when I get at least an 8 out of 10 from the boys. That makes me happy. I've never gotten a 10 out of 10. That's impossible to hit, so.
They are tough cookies, I guess. What would they give an 8 out of 10? What would they say is your best dish?
Oh my gosh. Seriously, just pasta. I'm not kidding. Pasta, Prego sauce. It's their favorite thing.
Pasta and jar sauce.
Sloppy Joes with manwich. They love that. Like, it's the stuff that I don't actually have to really cook, more so just assemble.
Like, funny, okay. You're like, but I put in all this work.
I know.
Appreciate my
guys,
art.
I make you complicated things. They also really like my homemade tortillas. I did learn homemade tortillas, and they are a fan of those. So that's my pride and joy for that. But
do you have a tortilla press?
No.
Oh,
I wish.
How do you make them flat? Rolling pin?
Yep.
Okay, that'll work.
Rolling pin, some sweat and tears, you know.
That'll get you there. And applause from the boys. Are you using? Oh yeah, we were. I was going to ask if you do anything like listen to music or watch videos while you're cooking.
Yep. So if, for example, homemade tortillas, so that was a thing, learned it over quarantine, and I did watch videos while I did it. Kind of like a calm cooking video in the background while they're doing it, so I could reference it and have something to enjoy. But usually, like I said, podcasts, if anything at all.
Got it. And are you using a recipe for today's cooking session?
No, just winging it.
All right. Today we're winging it. What do you call this dish?
Oh, I'm making Italian pasta salad.
Okay, that seems like a fair enough name for whatever it is. And before today's cooking session, did you pre-prepare anything? Anything you chopped or assembled?
No, but I did prepare my cooking area, which is something I do. So it is 1:51 p.m. here, Eastern time. And I had to do this kind of during my lunch break for work. So I set this all out ahead of time. I got the knife and the cutting board and everything ready to save time, which I will do ahead of time if I know that I'm going to be in a crunch for time for lunch or dinner.
Okay, got it. And let's see. So before I observe you cooking, any questions for me?
I don't think so.
All right, then let's go for it.
All right.
I'm going to mostly shut up. So yeah, just go ahead and don't forget to think out loud and talk out loud. Tell us what you're doing and why and all the good stuff.
Okay. So, oh my gosh, my arm hurts. So I'm going to fill my pot with water, which you won't see. My boyfriend left our Brita in the sink. So now I'm annoyed at him and I'm going to put that in the fridge. All right. Filling my water up, you can probably hear. So I didn't exactly plan how much I was going to make, but I realized that I picked my smaller pot and not my big one. And I don't really feel like pouring all this water out and getting my bigger one and waiting longer for it to boil. So I just made an on-the-fly decision to not make 4 servings worth of pasta, but maybe something more like 2.
Okay.
So I filled it. I always salt my water. I don't exactly know what it does, but I know that you're supposed to do it, so I do every time anything pasta goes in. I'm going to turn my burner to high and get my box of noodles ready. I got the tricolor rotini because I want to be fancy.
That is fancy.
And then, I just realized, so I ordered this stuff for this last night through Shipt, actually, outside of my normal schedule. But I just realized I don't know what I did with the pepperoni that I got for it, or if I even ordered pepperoni at all because I was exhausted when I got home. So I might be missing something from my pasta salad. But that's okay. There's no rules to pasta salad. You can put whatever you want in it. So yeah, it looks like I forgot the salami. Do I have any backup? No. All right, we're going vegetarian today. Not vegan because there will be cheese.
Okay.
Not for my boyfriend, just for me. But so I did. I picked out so I wanted mozzarella in it, but I picked out the little pearls instead of some kind of shredded cheese. So that way, in case my boyfriend does want some, I'm not going to make enough for him now, then he could pick them out. Yep. So while that's waiting to get ready, my burner takes forever. I feel like the stove is crap. So I'm just going to start getting all my packages off. I'm going to go wash my vegetables in the sink. You won't see it, but I'm just going to rinse it in the container and rinse this in my hand instead of using a strainer or anything like that. All right, I'm gonna throw my garbage away too. My garbage can is also not in the screen, but I get really stressed out when there's like a lot of garbage and things around me. So I usually like to clean up as I'm doing it, or else I start freaking out about all the dishes that I have to do afterwards, when I would rather just enjoy my food afterwards and not have to look forward to that.
Got it. So you kind of clean up as you go.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it. And then we have kind of an unspoken rule in our house where whoever cooks the dinner doesn't have to clean the final dishes. So that's usually for dinners, though, not for lunches. So I'm going to be responsible for all of this, but
very specific rules there.
Unspoken, but it works out very well.
And those are cherry tomatoes?
Honestly, I don't know if they're cherry or grape. That's a good question. I was really tired last night and I was kind of in a hurry to get everything, so I really quickly put together a delivery order. They don't even say what they are. Greenhouse grown, one sweet.
I just wanted to make sure they were some sort of tomato because I wasn't too sure.
Yes, they are tomatoes. But now I wonder what kind they are.
And I can't see behind the box. You're just throwing them into a bowl?
Oh, yep.
Oh, hello. Okay.
Yep, so this is going to be the bowl where all of it goes. And I'm just going to put all the prepped veggies and stuff in there first. And then I'll just mix it all around whenever the pasta's done. The chopping tomatoes. And I'm thinking right now about how many I really need to chop and if I want to chop all of them. Just because I kind of reduced the serving size. So I'm just going to eye it.
Okay.
I never really had a plan for how many I was going to use. Ooh, that one's squishy. I'm not going to use that one. I'm just going to use the firm ones. Oh, we got a little baby tomato in here. How cute. You asked for my thoughts.
I do want them. It's a stowaway cherry tomato in a world of grape tomatoes.
Unknown tomatoes. All right. So then I don't exactly know how to properly cut a bell pepper with as many as I've cut in my life. So I usually just wing that too. And I have like a few different methods that I try. Today is the cut off the top and rip out the middle with your hands.
Okay.
Sometimes I do each side of it. I make that one up on the fly because I've looked up tutorials about how to properly dice them before and I forget every time. So usually with when we use bell peppers a lot, so this is a relevant thing for me. And then normally I'll just use whatever knife I'm cutting it with to get off the, I don't know, it's called the rind, the white part. Yeah. And now I'm regretting my decision because this one has a lot of rind and usually if I go around the four corners of it, it has less, but that's okay. It's going to get chopped anyway. I'm just going to rip this off with my hands. I don't have patience. But that could be a theme for me. No patience. That's a big part, so I'm actually going to still cut that one. That's easy to cut off, but then this middle part I'm just going to rip. Get the bottoms out. If anybody wants to hit me up in Slack and tell me how to properly dice a bell pepper after this, that would be awesome.
Crowdsourcing.
Just saying. I'll probably forget though. And normally, so if a bell pepper has like a bunch of seeds in it, I would go rinse it off in the sink to get the seeds off. But this one doesn't have a ton, and I feel like they're just going to fall off on my cutting board anyway, so I'm not being super meticulous about getting them out. I'm just chopping. I don't think I've actually ever had a pasta salad with green bell pepper in it. Normally, we'll just use like a box suddenly salad because it's kind of a nostalgic flavor for me. I don't typically make it homemade if it's a side for a meal. But green pepper sounded good last night, so we're going to try it out today. But I don't really know how much to use. And now I regret picking the small cutting board. I have a bigger one that I should have used because I'm getting bell pepper everywhere and now we're going to have cleanup. That's okay. I've accepted it. Looks like this bell pepper isn't super ripe, which is kind of a bummer with those services. You can't pick out your own produce. You had to trust somebody else to do it for you. I'm not blaming them. Like, maybe this is all that was there, but I do wish it's a little bit light in color and kind of hard. So I wish it was a little bit more ripe, but too late to change anything about that now, and I still want to use it.
Right.
All right, I'm just going to throw the rest of that in there. Now my bell pepper to tomato ratio looks a little bit small, so I'm going to cut up some more tomatoes while I'm at it. I'm going to mix it with my hand to see better about how much we have. Yeah, I definitely need more tomatoes.
Okay.
Oh, my water's boiling. Time to put the pasta in. I'm looking at the side of the box to see how many servings are in here. So it's about 8 servings per container. So half of this would be 4 servings, and I'll probably do just slightly less than half of the box. That looks good. So hopefully that'll get me a few things out of it. And those are servings for full meals anyway, so since this is just a side, it should stretch a few days. I'm gonna put I have a little spoon rest that I need to put in the dishwasher here, but I'll do that after this is done. So I'm gonna rest my spoon on there.
Okay, we can't
and
see
just wait
it.
for that.
So if it's gross, we can't see it. I need the spoon rest.
Oh, so I usually use the Echo for timing things, but with pasta and something that I just want to watch, since I feel like the time on the box is never right, I'm not really precise about it. So I'm just looking at my clock right now on my oven. It says it's 2:01. So around like 2:13, I'll check on it again. But I'm not going to set a timer or anything. I'm just going to let it. Ooh, it's really boiling right now. Hopefully it doesn't boil over. I have a problem with that. It takes forever to start boiling and then boils over. Okay, my ratio looks better now. This is going to be a very pretty pasta salad. So I don't need my cutting board anymore, so I'm going to take all of this food garbage that I dropped and go put it in my trash can. And then I am going to wash the cutting board over in my sink over here because I don't want to deal with it later.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything super messy on it, so it'll be quick. All right, so now that's on our drying pad, and that's one less dish to worry about. I actually also don't need my knife anymore, but I'm just going to rinse this off and stick it in the sink just in case, because every time I think I'm done with my knife, I'm not.
Okay.
And I found more trash, so that's just going in the sink too. Now, I'm going to do the olives. I bought pre-sliced olives because nobody has time to actually cut olives and pit them on their own. But it looks like they're in a bunch of liquid, so I'm going to go drain that in the sink just using the can itself, because if I don't have to dirty another dish right now, like a strainer, I don't want to do it. Okay, so olives are strained, and I love olives, so we're just gonna dump them in. Oh, that was almost the whole thing. Good amount of olives, though. Uh-oh,
Okay.
My bowl's getting hot because it's right next to the boiling pot, so I'm gonna move my bowl over here. I don't know if you can still see it. Okay. So there's a few more olives left, and I'm going to eat one right now because that's what I would really do even if y'all weren't watching me. Same for mozzarella. I need to go dump this, but uh-oh, my hands are all wet, so I can't open it. See, and this is where I need my knife again. So I'm going to go cut the top of this mozzarella just a little bit to let it drain out and open it. 2 birds, 1 stone. So that knife that I didn't clean off yet is coming to use. So I just have a slit in it, and then I'm letting all the water that it's sitting in drain out. Since I'm going to use a lot of this and then probably eat it within the next couple of days, I'm not going to keep them in the water.
Right.
All right, so I strain the water out of there. Now I'm just going to rip this off. No, that's fine. I'm going to throw this away anyway. Just grab some mozzarella balls and also eat some of those. Oh, I didn't realize I got the little kind. I thought these were the bigger ones. Wow, I really messed up shopping last night. That's what I get when I shop at like 9 p.m. All right. I don't want like a ton. As much as I do love cheese, like a lot, I don't want a ton of it in here. I'd rather have more vegetables since that's where more of the flavor comes from. So I'm just going to use a little bit and then close this up and put it back into my fridge for snacking later. I'm going to go throw away garbage. And look at that. It's almost boiling over. So I'll first try blowing on it to get it to not boil over and then hope that does it and stirring it a little bit. I find that if I turn down my stove even a little bit, it'll add cooking time because it's super finicky. So I'm going to do my best to not let this boil over too much. And then I have some extra tomatoes and olives, but I really don't think I'm going to use them for anything. But I can't waste them. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we give in. We turn it down.
Okay.
So I'm going to go grab a Tupperware to put these leftover veggies in because as much as I don't think I'm going to use them, I can't bear to throw them away. Maybe they'll be useful for something later this weekend. So this will do. I'll just put them all in the same thing since I don't think the flavors are going to intermingle too much. And then I'm going to put this back in my fridge, in my vegetable drawer for later. And I have this plastic thing, so I'm not going to throw it from the tomatoes. I'm not going to throw it away, but I'm going to rinse it. And then I'm not going to go outside to recycle it because it's cold out today in Michigan. But I'm going to put it, we have a little spot where we put our recyclables from dinner right by the door. So that way, next time somebody walks out of the house, they can take it with them. I mean, so now it's pretty much just a waiting game. It looks like this isn't boiling over anymore. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit again. And then I'm going to get a paper towel to clean all this tomato mess I made. I'll go over this with like a scrubby later, but I don't really, like I said, the mess kind of stresses me out because it's something to think about. So if I can just keep it clean while I'm working, and then I'm going to throw this away with the olive thing that I don't need anymore. And then I'm really excited about this. I didn't realize they sold Olive Garden dressings, and I found it when I was looking at my app. So I'm thrilled to be using Olive Garden dressing for this. So I'm going to do a little taste before because I'm impatient.
Okay.
And I want to try it now. So I'll just lick it off the top. Ooh, yum. That's going to be good. Okay, so now I pretty much just wait. I've cleaned everything. Oh, I see a bag I didn't throw away. So I've cleaned everything. I have my strainer out already, which you can't see, but that was part of my stuff that I prepped before. And I'm really just waiting on the noodles to be done and making sure they don't boil over like they are right now. So I'll turn it down again because that's the old trustworthy way. Yeah, so I have like, I made tea earlier, so I have my teapot in the sink. So I'm going to dump that out, sort some other stuff out in the meantime. My computer is where my teapot goes, so I'm just going to put this over to the side for now, but normally it would just go back in its normal spot. I realize I'm boiling kind of near my laptop, so I want to make sure. Okay. All is good on the technology front. We're not harming any electronics today. Oh, looks like it's not boiling over anymore. I play this game every time I boil something. Back and forth. So now, I mean, it's 2:09 now. I just turned it back up, but I stirred it and they look like they're getting a little bit bigger. They don't really feel done yet. It feels kind of hard. But I'm going to try and get a noodle, and I didn't get a slotted spoon, so I just kind of let the water pour out on the side. Yeah, those need a few more minutes. They're a little hard. So yeah, I mean, now I really wouldn't do anything else. I'm just going to check my work emails and make sure I'm not missing anything.
Okay.
On my phone. I'm not leaving. But this is what I do. This is the worst part. We're just waiting for it. Stir it again. I guess I'll pay more attention to my pasta now since there's nothing else to really focus on. I'm a little bit worried I have a little too many veggies for my pasta. And since I put them all in the bowl, I'm kind of committing to that. So I'm going to go get another bowl where I'll pour the pasta in first. And then I'll put the veggies on top of that. Oh, look, there she goes again. Can't win. All right, so this will actually be my pasta bowl. So change of plans.
Okay.
Extra dish, but that's okay. We'll still clean it. Eating green pepper. Stirring again. Just waiting. I'm going to check that noodle again. They look a little bit better, but also give it a couple minutes. Now I'm going to look at the rotini box and see how long it actually says. I don't really read it. Oh, it says 9 to 11 minutes, so that's about right because it's 2:11 right now. Well, it should be done soon. So maybe I'll get to take them out sooner. I'm going to go put my box away. I don't need it anymore. And now we're getting mad at my boyfriend for putting things in the pantry on the shelf they don't belong on. Stirring again. Hopefully not let this boil over, but stay at the temperature it's at. Uh-oh. Again. I really should have picked the bigger pot. So now I'm worried. So I had it at high, but now, which would be in the space of like where a 9 is, I guess, on my stove. But now I have it turned down all the way to the 8. So I'm a little bit worried it's going to take longer. But they're actually looking pretty good. I'm going to try another one. Same thing. I'm just letting the water out through here. I have a high tolerance for heat, so like burning my mouth isn't really, it doesn't bug me. Okay, now I still need a couple more minutes. They're hard. Turned it back up to high. I'm gonna stir it again. At this point, I wouldn't really walk away from it. I mean, I'm staying here because I'm obviously, on the show and I don't want to take my headphones off or have them disconnect. If I had more time, I'd probably go sit on the couch. But at this point, I don't want to go get comfortable doing something else and then overcook the pasta because I don't like mushy pasta, especially since it's going to be in pasta salad. So I'm just going to sit here and watch a boiling pot of water, which is extremely fun. I'm going to try another noodle. Well, it still feels kind of hard. Oh no, those are good now. Okay, cool. So they could use like maybe 30 more seconds. So I'm gonna go put my strainer. Oh, my strainer is already in my sink, but I'm going to wash that knife to kind of buy time now that I know I won't need it anymore. I'm washing my knife off. And then I'm going to put my strainer in my sink. Going to turn off the burner. 2 hands, don't want to drop it. Pouring it in the sink. Yeah, that pasta to vegetable ratio was definitely going to be off, so I'm happy that I picked up the other bowl. So I'm just going to leave this on a not hot burner right now because I don't want to put it in my sink since the strainer is taking up the room in there, but I'll move it to the sink eventually. So I'm just going to run cold water over it. Actually, I could use my spoon here to start mixing it around, make sure it all gets dispersed.
I'm sorry, what were you doing right now?
Sorry, I'm running cold water over my pasta, but I wanted to make sure all of it got the water on it since I want to eat this right away, or at least a little bit of it right away. So I grabbed my spoon to stir it around and make sure it all gets covered by the water. All right, I'm going to test one out by eating it. Not cold enough yet. Still going to go. All right, trying another one. Much better. Shaking out my strainer to get all the extra water out. I don't want to drip it on my way from the sink to the stove. I'm going to pour it all in here. It's a little bit watery, which I'm kind of worried it'll mix with the dressing and get a little watery, but not really anything I can do about that. So I'm going to start by taking about half of what is in here, which, whoa, that was a cheese heavy. I need to stir this around to make sure that's even. Okay, I'm going to take about half of what's in here and then stop, mix it around and see what the ratio looks like from pasta to other stuff. Ooh, that's pretty close to perfect. Okay, so maybe just a little bit more. So I have maybe like a third left from what I originally prepped, so that's not too bad. Maybe I'll just make more pasta salad with it and save it, or eat it as its own little salad. All right, so I want to make sure. I hate when I stir things like pastas with ingredients in them and then the ingredients don't get evenly spread out. I feel like it's really hard to do that and they all like clump together. So I'm trying to do a good job at doing that. Looks good. And then I'm going to shake my dressing, not in that arm because it hurts. Oh, you can't see, but I'm shaking my dressing. And I'm just going to start with a little bit. You can always add more, but you can't take away. All right, let me try some noodles. Oh, perfect. I'm so sorry to anybody that has misophonia for me chewing in your ear right now. But yeah, I mean, that seems like a good amount. And if I decide there's not enough Italian dressing, I can add it to the serving. So I would call this done, but I'm going to get myself a bowl first and then wrap the rest up and put it in the fridge. So let me, oh no, that didn't have anything in it. No, sounds like someone's coming home. I could unlock the door for them, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm going to get plastic wrap. And cover this. And put it in the fridge for later. And that's all.
Thank
you.
you.
Are you clapping? I moved away for a second.
I was clapping. It was a light clap. Hey, thank you so much for that. Sorry to keep you from eating it, but I wanted to ask you a few questions there. I guess you can eat it while we're talking. Can you maybe angle the laptop a little bit so we can see you?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
The camera got moved. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Looks super. Couple of questions. After you cook, do you tend to photograph it or share it on social media?
So sometimes these HelloFresh recipes are really pretty. So I'll send a Snapchat to like my mom. I don't know, pretty much just my mom because she's usually interested in it and sends me one back of hers. But I don't post on social media really. I'm not like I don't look for the perfect picture. Just one and done. I want to eat it.
Okay, got it. And a few questions about some of the cooking you were just doing. Is that a gas or electric stove? Like, are there flames coming up, or is it an electric burner?
No, it would be electric then. Yeah, it's electric. Sorry, old.
No, it's okay. I know electric can be real hard to get the temperature right. The knife you were using to cut looked like a professional knife. Was that a good quality knife you'd bought somewhere?
Yep, it was a Christmas present from my mom 2 years ago or last year maybe. Anyway, but they're J.A. Henkel's. So I asked her for a good knife set because before this we had the worst knife set and only like one of them was usable. So yeah, we have a pretty good knife set. I love it.
Got it. And tell me a little bit about that pot. Is it nonstick, cast iron? Do you know
Yep,
what it is?
it's a nonstick Cuisinart. I don't actually know how to say that out loud. I never have before. It came with the boyfriend though. I didn't buy the
Okay.
pot.
So it's a nonstick Cuisinart brand pot that he got at some point.
Yep. And it's
Okay.
our favorite pot. That's why I chose this right away. We have a bigger one that would have been better, but I like this one because of it being nonstick.
Got it. But this one's nonstick. And I did not learn what flavored dressing you bought.
Oh my gosh, I never told you. Olive Garden signature Italian.
Signature Italian. Got it.
I should put this in the fridge.
I can only imagine what Italians would say. I was curious a little bit about your kitchen. Do you have a dishwasher?
Yeah.
Okay. And we did have a question from one of the assistants. Do you put any salt or pepper in your salad?
No, but that actually just reminds me. I was thinking about putting chili flakes in it, so I'm going to. But no, no salt or pepper in this. Oh. So thank you, whoever said that, because now I'm putting red pepper flakes in here, and that definitely adds to it.
Our number one salt and pepper fan asks that. So, okay. So let me look at our last couple of questions, and then I can certainly let you go. Do you have a dream kitchen smart home appliance?
Appliance. Ooh, that's tough.
Or gadget, maybe, but some sort of smart home thing.
No, I don't think. I don't know. Like, I can think of gadgets that are like cooking things. Like, for example, we just got an air fryer thing, and that's been great. Or like, I love good oven thermometer or food thermometers. But like, as for a smart gadget, I don't really see the need. I don't know what it could help with.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. And if you had a magic wand and could improve anything about cooking or meal preparation, what would you change?
Oh my God, am I allowed to say my kitchen?
Yeah,
It's
I
so
mean,
small. We're in
this
a rental
is
right now, and it is.
it's magic wand.
Yeah.
You get to pick.
Yeah, I get a new kitchen. I have an island. It's much bigger than this. Like our house is it's spacious, but for some reason they decided to borrow from the kitchen instead and take that and put it in the living room. So I'd love more kitchen space. So I wasn't in I don't know if you could see, but it's just kind of like one aisle worth and like that's it.
I can see. It looks
Yeah.
it looks old and small.
Yeah, it's a nice little 80s kitchen. Old and small.
Good.
But we have a huge living room, so they could have used that for the kitchen. If this was my house, I would knock this wall down and just expand it. That's my magic wand. Anyone know any
Redesign the
contractors?
kitchen. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
See episode 1. So what about anything that you feel like could make cooking or meal preparation faster, easier, more efficient, or better for you in some way that isn't redesigning the kitchen?
Okay. Let me think. I usually like for the days when I'm more in a rush, so even today included, because I do have to go back to work, like it would have been nice to just have everything prepped ahead of time. So like I'll fix this by buying things that are pre-cut. But if there was some way, I guess a food processor, but a better way than a food processor to chop all my stuff how I need it chopped and prep it how I need it prepped, that would be awesome.
And when you say chop how you want it chopped, is it that you would want to say, like, these things get chopped this size, this thing gets chopped this way? Like, do you mean that kind of
Yeah.
magic dream?
Yeah, well, because like I'm thinking a food processor does that, but with my tomatoes that I wanted in halves, a food processor is not going to neatly cut them in half. Uh, so something like that. I don't know.
Got it. So it sounds like your day and your world are pretty packed.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Okay. Any other magic wand improvements you can think of for cooking and meals?
Not let my pasta boil over or something, to watch my pasta water.
Okay.
See, I like the act of cooking, so I don't want like everything to be automated. It's just those slightly inconvenient things like, oh, I don't have time to chop, or oh, my water keeps going over. I mean, you saw it, I adjusted it like 5 times.
Right.
So
any other things you thought we might be talking about today that I didn't ask you, but you want to mention anyway?
let me think. I guess, I don't know, like my interest in cooking could be an interesting thing, and where that kind of came from. And so I always like grew up with homemade meals and everything from my stepdad. He's a phenomenal cook. So when I went to college on my own, I was all lost. I didn't know how to cook for myself. And the first thing that I learned was how to make fried chicken from my grandma's recipe. But now often if there's a new recipe I want to try, so like the most recent one was like a filet. I wanted to grill a filet since we got a grill. I texted my stepdad and I was like, please tell me step by step, how do you do this? I want it perfect, just like yours. So I'll often reference like my family members that are good at making something, their specific recipes, if there's something I want or that I'm craving. I think that's something, because I don't always look online for recipes. And I don't even always follow a recipe.
So you might look for recipes and then you may or may not follow it exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, that's the fun of cooking. You can kind of wing it. That's why baking I'm terrible at, because you cannot wing it at all. And yeah, that's when bad things happen.
Got it. Okay. Well, I think that might be it for our time together. Thank you so much for being a part of our study. It was great to learn more about how you cook meals at home. Oh wait, I remember there's a question I forgot to ask. I'm so sorry. Question 23.
Okay.
Rewind. Pretend I didn't do that. That's what happens when you're really sleepy. I meant to ask if any shopping or cooking habits changed because of the pandemic.
Oh, definitely cook more since the pandemic started. Like before, so the pandemic started when I was at the end of my 2-year grad program. So I was gone all the time before that. And like, I would cook when I could for everybody. So mostly on weekends. But once the pandemic started, I switched to more of a weekday schedule since I was home every weekday. And the weekends were more of the, let's just grab something quick. So yeah, and I cook a lot more, which I think I would cook a lot more anyway now since my program ended. That would have adjusted anyways, but for a few months there.
Okay, got it. Anything else that changed about cooking or meals due to the pandemic?
Yeah, that's actually when I taught myself the homemade tortilla recipe. I was more interested in taking things that take like maybe a little bit more time or something a little more adventurous. Like I made pierogies once, like fresh dough and everything. So that was more in the beginning when we really had nothing to do at home. So yeah. And then I really think the only recipe that's carried over was the tortillas. Everything else is still too time consuming, but.
Got it. Okay, I got question 23 in, and sorry about that. So now I'm pretending we're done, and my assistant will email you your $100 gift thingies gift card, which of course doesn't exist. Bummer. I know we had to make up a fake company. Julia, thank you so much. Any questions for me?
No, but I'm excited to see the rest and what you do with it.
Isn't that true? All right. Well, then I'm going to take you off camera, and you can hang around and listen if you want, or we'll see you later. But over to me with extra special thanks to Julia. And let me take a look in the chat room. Constantina says, I find looking at other people's cooking habits fascinating. Kayleen says, hi, just got here. Hey, Kayleen. Elijah says, I don't mind warm pasta salad, but I'm a hooligan. And of course, my Italian boyfriend was dying over pouring cool water on a pasta. Does anybody have any questions about today's session and anything going on? I want to apologize on behalf of myself, for myself. I am just really exhausted today. I normally try to take Fridays off because I work all weekend, and today I ended up with a full day of appointments, a bunch of them before this live stream and a few after. So I have to apologize. You might have noticed I was typing a little bit slower. My typing typing was less accurate. I am just exhausted, and I'm allergic to caffeine. So when I'm exhausted, nothing I can do. I ate some extra chocolate. It made me happy, but it didn't wake me up anymore. So there you go. Now, if you have any comments or questions, I am watching the chat room. Oh, thank you for the halos, Charlene. Just a reminder that we've got more super fun coming. Don't forget, we have some special guests over the weekend, so there will be weekend streams. If you watch it live, if you can, otherwise swing back later in the YouTube archive, and of course, watch the archives, I should say, archive again there. That'll be in the micro lessons playlist. So tomorrow we've got Kayleen. I can't wait to see what she's going to make. And then Sunday, we've got Maggie, also exciting. Monday, Naz, also exciting. And Tuesday, Office Hours Ask Us Anything with special guest Steve Portugal. Wednesday, the 24th, setting up a user pool with Sotiris. That's going to be great. That's about user research and recruiting. Friday the 26th, new special guest. Oh, that's Naz. So then who's cooking the other day? Who did I forget? Joel Barr. Monday the 22nd is Joel Barr. Naz is going to be Friday the 26th. Sunday the 28th will be Randy Babst from UX Stars. And then starting on Monday the 29th, we are going to be joining together to work on our affinity diagram. So make sure you've taken some notes before Monday the 29th so we can come together in a live mural board and work on that. And then more after that. Bye, Chang. See you later. Constantina says, how many interviews is it advisable to do in a day, given that they require the interviewer's full attention? Super question. And that's going to be different from different people. For different people, not everybody has the same stamina for some of these things. Some people, what I hear is a lot of people don't want to do more than 3 or 4 in a day. Again, assuming they're remote and they run maybe an hour each. Some people will only do 2 in a day. If you decided you could only do 1 in a day because that's all you had time or patience or energy for, that's totally fine. It just means you have to take that into consideration when you're making your project plan. That if you're going to interview 10 people and you tend to meet 1 a day, you're probably doing this for 2 weeks. So you just have to take that into consideration. I try to do, depending upon what they are, I try to do 3 or 4 a day, but I try to space them out. So I'll try to do some closer to my lunchtime, and I'll try to do some closer to like after these shows. But it really depends. It depends on the project. So the project I did last year had a lot more people in Europe, and a lot of time they were booking at 10 a.m. my time when I was freshly awake and super energy and ready for action because I'm a morning person. The project I'm on now is with a lot of Americans, and so sometimes they're booking with me at 10:30 at night my time, and I've been working since 10 in the morning. So those days get long. But again, the bottom line is don't book more for yourself in a day than you're comfortable with. If you're not sure what you're comfortable with, start with 2. And remember to space at least a half hour or an hour between them. Don't put them back to back, and just see how it feels and see if you think you want to do 3, see if you want to do 1, totally up to you. Brianna says, since we don't take notes while interviewing, what if we think of questions like you did and need to be reminded to ask them later? How do we make sure the note taker knows to write those without distracting anyone? Yeah, that's hard, because by the time you've tried to tell the note taker what to write down, you might as well have written it down yourself. So I think in general, there's nothing wrong with having a little scrap of paper next to your desk. I take paper that I've printed on and don't want to throw in the recycling bin. Like this was this winter's hunting season schedule, so we would know when we can't let the dogs out. And I just fold it up and I turn it into little note paper. So I might scribble to myself a couple of small things. If you know, the problem is if you have a note taker sitting there with you, you'd have to mute yourself and try to mumble to that person. I think by the time you try to do that, you might as well just scribble yourself a couple of notes, or if you have a window open, type a couple of notes, but just, you know, type or write the shortest thing you can to remind yourself what you wanted to ask. Salt and pepper, type of pot, measure water, things like dishwasher. You know, you don't have to write, does she have a dishwasher? Ask her if she is a dishwasher. You know, you don't have to do that. So you can certainly just write yourself 2 or 3 words to remind yourself what you want to ask later. And I think that's perfectly fine to do. Always keep little scraps of paper by your desk. I keep a whole pile of crappy paper I've previously printed on and fold into something else. This is an email from tech support for my smart home air conditioning. So reuse, recycle, and then put in the recycle bin. Kayleen says maybe a template could help speed up note-taking. Again, whatever you devise for yourself is the best way to go. I don't want anyone to think that they have to do anything like me. Everybody you learn from is going to do something different. Some things are going to be more proper and traditional, and some things I do are a little untraditional. And you just have to kind of find your own style and work for you. If my energy is really bad, I will definitely take minimal notes, and I'll have to listen back later. But as you've seen, I try to take extensive notes, and then I usually don't listen back later because I've usually captured pretty much everything. I might have my assistant or a note taker listen back later to fill in anything I missed. Brianna says, thank you so much, Debbie. I've definitely done interviews where I had no one to take notes, and so I resorted to using Trello to take down quick notes, but it was difficult. Yeah, and again, doesn't have to be Trello or anything fancy. I open up, if you've seen me in other ones, I open up Notepad. What I'm typing into today was Google Docs. Or again, you know, scrap O paper, broken pen, just write a few words. Piece of paper for quick notes for cues I want to ask is a great idea. Well, thank you. Then I'm glad I said it. No charge. And again, then put it in the recycle bin. Any other questions before we wrap up for today? Because we got so many more coming. I am streaming every day through next Friday, I think, except for Thursday. So it's like whenever Darren's doing his UX Chit Chat Hour. Kayleen says, it's okay to not really take notes, right? I have to use 100% of my focus listening and observing. Absolutely. That's why I said, don't be like me when you see this. Do not type the amount of notes I am typing. That is something that I've developed over many years of practice. Remember, I'm twice your age, most of you. Some of you are older than I am, but I'm mostly twice all of your ages. And so, I started, I had a typewriter since I was born. I've just, I used to use software that teaches you typing. So, I can type without looking, I've got very high accuracy. So yes, please, many people really should be focusing on people. If you have a note taker, you don't need to take notes. So that's another thing right there is I'm sometimes a person of one. And even if I had a note taker or an assistant, I would probably have that person watch the video back. But again, maybe they're watching live and they're shooting a couple of questions to me in a back channel somewhere, So all of these methods are okay. And I would not tell you any of them are right or wrong, other than I know that me trying to write down everything someone says in like a live captioning kind of stream is considered generally wrong. So yes, please don't feel like you have to take any notes other than a couple of things you want to remember to ask that person as a follow-up. You do not have to end up with any notes at the end of a session. That is why we record it and we watch it back later, or your assistant or your note taker or you or your manager, your lead. This is why we record. We record to capture these things. You can also feed these into Otter or some of these other systems and get, 92% accurate transcripts. That doesn't mean you have notes, but it means you would have a transcript that you could read back. Though, again, if you listen to it, you'll see it's usually not perfectly accurate. So you don't want to take your quotes from the transcript without going back to your video and listening. Any other questions before I play us out of here? And I hope to see everybody tomorrow for the Kayleen adventure. I've got double Kayleen tomorrow. This is going to be a super Saturday. All right. Well, thanks to everybody who joined in today and watched. I know that Fridays we're usually not together, and many of you have some better things to do. Oh, yeah, Brianna said, Otter made it look like I said bugs and laughed when I didn't. Yeah, I once had Otter transcribe something Descript. I had Descript transcribe something, and somebody said something quite normal, and for some reason Descript wrote a swear word, and I was like, whoa, not giving this to the client. watch those transcripts. Eyeball them first. Kayleen says, rest well. 2 more calls, and then I shall rest. Oh, no, 2 more calls, and then Disney Plus, and then I shall rest. But Kayleen, you're my first call tomorrow, so, if I wake up in time for lunch, I'll be fine. Be happy to talk to you then. So hope to see everybody tomorrow, usual time. As Charlene says, happy Friday, everyone. Have a great weekend. I agree with her. She says this. It's showing up on the screen now because I've got some fun things working now. And don't forget, this is a cool little cup. As people do cool things, things will drop into the cup. So if you super chat, if you tip, if you subscribe or join as a member, cool things get animated and fall into the cup. It's like a pianist's tip jar in a club. Thank you, Brianna. Thanks for coming. So anyway, I'm going to play us out of here and get ready for my next call. Everybody be well, and see some of you tomorrow for the next adventure. Bye.
Delta CX, available for CX and UX consulting, projects, and training. Contact us for a free consultation.